I'm Joe Chile, mornings from 7 to 9 with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise today is Denise Ligamari from Western Division Federal Credit Union. So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
With your attire, your Western Division attire on today.
Of course I do.
That's very nice. Is there anything new that we should know about today? Anything you want to tell me about that you've been keeping a secret? No.
Well, a little bit. Yeah.
Let's start off with, what makes Western Division different than, say, a bank?
Bank. Well, the similarities I always say is that we offer the same products and services that you can get at any financial institution. Your savings, your checking, your loans, your mobile apps, everything across the board. Difference between banks and credit unions is that credit unions are not-for-profit, so usually we are able to offer better interest rates on savings, loans, lower minimum balances, and fees on accounts. In Western Division, we are one of the larger credit union cooperatives in the area, and we service everyone in Western New York. That's where we got our name, Western Division, the Western Division part of New York.
All right, now, when you think of this time of the year, I usually think of, like after August, new model years come out for cars, and things like that, right? And people are talking about, whether it's justified or not, talking about tariffs and what the effect tariffs are going to have on the cost of a car.
Right.
So, should we be talking to the folks at Western Division with regard to our car loans?
Absolutely. In fact, the fall has always been a huge time for if you're out looking to buy or even lease a vehicle, because it's end of year. So at end of year, when you're coming in, the dealerships have a lot of incentives going on. They push a lot. You see a lot more marketing out in the place because they have the new year models coming in. The 2026s are in. In fact, they've probably been in since the end of August. But what we're seeing this year is that there is still a lot of new 2024 and 25s that are on the dealer's lots. So they're really making the push to get rid of that inventory. So you might be getting some really good deals if you're out there shopping for new right now. So they need to move that inventory to make good for the other inventory coming in. So you see a lot of incentives, and you also have the EV, electronic vehicle mandate, which ends September 30th.
Right.
So a lot of people are out there shopping right now. Dealers want to move the stock, people are out there shopping. So I always say fall time, like September, October, November, especially if you can hold off into December, that's when you're going to get the best deals, I think, out at the dealerships.
I'm going to, I just released a new vehicle, but I'm going to wait on things like Christmas presents to see if this comet is really a comet that's coming in this area, or if it's aliens that are going to take over. I'm not going to buy any Christmas gifts. What about new versus used? When you start looking at used vehicles, are you looking at a much higher interest rate?
You usually are. The average vehicle for a new purchase right now is about 9%, and we're seeing about 72 months. That's what they're looking to finance, because obviously the longer you put out the finance in, the lower your monthly payment is. And in this economic area that we're in right now, people are always looking for the least amount that they have to shell out on the payment. When you're looking for used, how I was telling you about new, now is a good time to take a look at. The used market is usually pretty steady all year long. So they don't really need to push a lot of those used between the people turning in their leases. That adds to their inventory. And the used really is driven on the KBB or the NADA. So you take a look at what the values of the cars are out there. So it means pretty consistent, except for usually they say springtime. Usually around tax time, that's where you'll see a shift in the used market, where I think they reevaluate what the book value is, and that's when a lot of people we see shopping used in the spring, new in the fall.
So if I come in and sit down and talk to you, and I say I have a lease, 3-year lease, 36,000 miles, whatever the case may be, I'm trying to decide whether I should lease another vehicle or buy this vehicle.
Or buy the vehicle, right.
Should I be talking to you before I talk to the dealer?
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of people aren't aware that they can actually finance from anywhere when they want to buy their lease. You don't have to go to the dealership and do so. Some of the things that I would take a look at the leases, I would definitely take a look at what my lease buyout is, and that's right in your contract from 2 or 3 or 4 years ago that you signed the lease. I would take a look at what the KBB or the NADA value is on that car. You might have a lot of equity in that car right now that it might behoove you to keep that car. Especially if you love the car, you might as well keep it. If you don't love the car so much, then usually you can use that equity at the dealer to maybe turn it back in to purchase or release another vehicle.
Will the dealer tell you what the equity is? or is that kind of hidden? I know
They do, but I would do my homework before you go in.
Would you help me do my homework?
We will help you do your homework. We have people all the time who will send us their lease contract, and then we will take a look at what their book value is, and we'll take it from there and give our opinion, honest opinion, on what they think they should do.
I remember hearing people all the time say, you know, I leased my car, I went through my credit union.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was such a better deal to go through my credit union. Heard it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, you know, what's it going to hurt for people to come in and talk to you? There's no pressure there. You know, you're not, you know, demanding that they get their loan from you or whatever.
Absolutely
They say,
not.
I want to know what, you know, give me the specifics here. Then I'm going to go in and talk to the dealer, right?
To get the best deal.
Yeah.
Because if you contact us beforehand, we always tell people, give us a call, get pre-approved, or at least just give us a call and tell us what you're looking at doing. Because some people, you walk on a lot, here you're thinking in for that car and you're going to get new, and then all of a sudden you see the inventory and you're like, oh, that's a better deal, and things like that. We'll get you pre-approved. We'll get you the dollar amount, and you'll know the interest rate when you're walking out. So when you go into the dealer, you're armed with that information to make a decision and or haggle with the dealer on the interest rate. So if the dealer comes back and says, hey, I can give you 60 months at, you know, 7%, and we're like, well, you can get it at Western Division at 4%, then you already know, and you can go back and forth and get the best deal for yourself.
So they should call you and talk about becoming a member of Western Division Federal Credit Union.
Absolutely.
Very good. Denise Ligamari, thank you very much. We appreciate it. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Western Division Federal Credit Union at 716-500-LOAN or go to westerndivision.org. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Western Division Federal Credit Union. And you can join me weekday mornings 7 to 9 with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Weck.